Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to London, welcome to Westminster. Right now I'm in Parliament Square. Behind me is the Palace of Westminster, aka the Houses of Parliament. It's November right now, and that's what I'm going to share with you, a little of life here in London during the month of November and during the winter season more broadly, and certainly by the end of the month the festive Christmas season will be well underway, so we can take a little look at that. First up, the first event many people will be celebrating, commemorating here in London and across the UK is Guy Fawkes Night, which is celebrated by friends and family coming together, setting things on fire on the 5th of November. I thought rather than going to a bonfire and a firework display in a park here in London, I'd come to where events of the 5th of November, it's back in 1605, unfolded. The House of Lords. The building they attempted to destroy was later demolished to make way for the Palace of Westminster that stands here today. It's not quite as old as it looks. I thought what I would do is head down to Westminster Bridge, which is next to the Palace of Westminster, and see if we can't see any of the celebrations on the skyline, and then I'll head further along the bank of the north bank of the River Thames to the footbridges down there, which will give us a much better view of the London skyline. And while I do that, while I head down to the river and along the river, I can explain to you a little about Guy Fawkes Night, why we celebrate it and how we celebrate it. So let's go. Okay, the Palace of Westminster looks phenomenal illuminated in the evening. There's a lot of renovation work being carried out both on the Palace of Westminster and Big Ben, so it's pretty concealed by scaffolding right now. The London Eye as well, the whole skyline looks amazing in the evening. I think what I'll do is I'm going to head down to the next bridges here, the footbridges just in the background there that you can see illuminated, and hopefully we'll get better views of the London skyline and might be able to make out some fireworks. I'll certainly be able to make them out. I can see them and hear them, and you can smell gunpowder in the air this evening, so I'll see if I can spot some on the skyline and share that with you. So let's go. So in 1605, right here, a group of religious activists plotted to blow up the then Houses of Parliament and assassinate the then King in the process at the state opening of Parliament. And they very nearly succeeded. However, the plot was foiled at the last moment, and Guy Fawkes was discovered hiding in a basement with barrels of gunpowder. And ever since, Brits have been celebrating the failure of the gunpowder plot by, rather ironically, setting fire to things and blowing stuff up, and it's a celebration that's as popular today as it's ever been. So there'll be firework displays and bonfires all over the country and all over London. Okay, there are bridges here either side of the train tracks I'm walking beneath right now. On the one side here you get phenomenal views of the skyline back towards Palace of Westminster and the London Eye and Westminster Bridge. You can hear the trains rumbling above me. You can only get views from that side of the train tracks, that way down the river, and this side of the train tracks down this side of the river, because the metalwork of the actual train bridge obscures your view. I'm going to head up this side of the bridge, which gives you views of the Southbank Centre and the City of London. So you can see the dome of St Paul's Cathedral, and there's just a better view on this side of the skyline, so I'm hoping I'll be able to see some fireworks from up here, although I can hear them in the background coming from central London, but whether you'll be able to make them out is different. story, but you will either way get to see an amazing view from up here of the London skyline. Check this out, you can see the Dome of St Paul's. I can hear them, you can probably hear them, faint bangs and crackles of fireworks. I think there's just so many high-rise buildings here, especially there where I can hear the firework noises coming from. You just can't see them on the skyline. Maybe I'll head to the park after one of London's parks and check out the fireworks in the park. But while I'm here, we'll take a look at the views, admire the views of the London skyline from up here. Okay, welcome to East London. I'm somewhere in between Mile End and Bethnal Green. Check this out, perfect East London combination. Traditional pub. And right opposite, fish and chip bar. Thought I'd share with you this evening a typical firework night, bonfire night, Guy Fawkes night celebration and event in a London park. So right now following the crowds down to Victoria Park for a free fireworks show in the park. So let's head down to the park and show you around what you can expect at a bonfire night event here in London. And they're very similar up and down the entire length of the country.
Like £2. You're going to get 20,000 people at each £2. No one's not going to come to £2. I really don't forget.
Okay guys, made it to the park. Assuming the fireworks display will be this way. And as you can see behind me, plenty of trucks selling warm food. It's a pretty cold evening. Looks like there's actually some pop-up restaurants and bars on this side of the park. Victoria Park's a massive park here at East London. There's a few different things going on, but I'm here to check out the fireworks in a little while. I'm surprised there's not a fun fair, but each one of these events in different parks of London, different parts of the country have different setups. They will all have fireworks, some will have bonfires, some won't, some have fun fairs, some don't. And the choice of food and drink and everything else on offer very much depends on which park you happen to go to. And most people go to their local park, and as you can see, this one here in London, the crowd is enormous. It's a hugely popular night out, hugely popular event each year. Hopefully you can see the crowds. It's very dark this evening. If you're coming to one of these events wearing boots or suitable footwear is essential. When I say park, because there's thousands of people here this evening treading around in this park that basically becomes a big muddy field. Yeah. If you wear fancy shoes, they will get destroyed. Okay, the show's finished, and now all the people are leaving. You can see how many thousands of people were here. I hope you enjoyed this little look at a typical Guy Fawkes night, bonfire night, fireworks night event here in a park in East London. So I'm going to head home, and I'll see you guys at the next event a little later in the month.
We need to go further up.
Okay, welcome to Westminster. Now, November is a time for remembrance here in the United Kingdom. A time to remember those who sacrificed themselves for our freedom. So, I've come to the Cenotaph here, which is the United Kingdom's National War Memorial here in Westminster. And there'll be a remembrance service here on Remembrance Sunday, which is the Sunday closest to the 11th of November each year, and there'll be remembrance services at war memorials, of which there are over 100,000 here in the United Kingdom, but there'll be remembrance services at war memorials all over the United Kingdom. And at this time of year you'll also see people wearing these poppies, similar poppies to this, and buying the poppies is, I guess, an act of charity and benevolence, and above all else gratitude, because the money from buying these and similar poppies goes to good causes. Also, wearing them is a symbol of both remembrance and hope. So yes, welcome to the Cenotaph. Okay, so from the relatively sombre Cenotaph here in Westminster, we're going to head to another part of London, to somewhere more frivolous, festive and fun. Okay, it's very nearly the end of November, and by the end of the month London's very much beginning to look like Christmas, and although I'll be focusing on that next month, I thought I would come to the Southbank, just below the London Eye, somewhere behind me. You can see Big Ben and the Palace of Westminster. I thought I'd come to the Southbank and take a look at one of London's festive Christmas markets. Share more of this with you next month, give you a brief glimpse tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this look at London during the month of November, live here in town during the month of November. So until next time, toodles. Smell of mulled wine and festive foods, phenomenal.
Thank you.